100M leftover women in China. No husband. Even with 300K UN gifts, Beijing and Shanghai are home to hundreds of thousands of so-called leftover women, a term in Chinese society for unmarried women over the age of 27. In the past, people spoke only of unmarried men, not unmarried ugly women. As long as you were a woman, even if you weren't attractive, you could still get married. But now, the situation has reversed. In both rural and urban areas, the number of financially well-off women who remain unmarried is rising, and it's now common for women to still be single at 30. Blogger Peng says that even when some men meet these women's expectations, they still prefer someone young and beautiful, ideally around 20. Jingji, 32, once went on a blind date. She wore a new dress and even put on perfume. The man she met was 34, held a graduate degree, and worked for a state-owned enterprise. But his proposal left her uncomfortable. After the date, she walked alone by the river. Later, he texted to ask when they could meet again. Not wanting to drag things out, she declined. The blogger believes that having dated wealthy second-generation men is not necessarily a good thing for older single women. These experiences can actually hinder future relationships. Wealthy heirs are often rebellious in their youth and defy their parents, especially when choosing a partner. They only want someone attractive at first, but eventually must introduce her to their parents. If the parents disapprove, there's no chance. Since they depend financially on their parents, they have no final say. In addition, wealthy heirs enjoy a luxurious lifestyle, frequent trips, upscale restaurants, and high-end hotels. If a woman has dated such a man, she may feel a sharp emotional gap when meeting someone less glamorous and find him unattractive. Once the prime years for finding a partner pass, meeting another ideal match becomes much harder. The blogger said she now has only 4,000 yuan left, which must cover communication and transportation costs. Some men spend on late-night snacks, street food, and drinks with friends, leaving her with little money. A man earning 6,000 yuan a month can support himself, but marriage would be a stretch. After her breakup, she locked herself in her rented apartment, afraid to go out. 2 months later, she panicked when her bank account balance dropped to just 3 digits. One morning, she looked in the mirror and was shocked by her reflection. She once wore full makeup, even after staying up all night to revise a project, but now spends entire days in bed without washing her hair. Seeing friends get married while she remains single, she laments, "When will this ever end?" Many men believe older women are past their prime for childbearing, but the blogger argues that marrying an older woman has advantages, starting with stronger financial stability. Blogger Wenwen, 30, says she has never been in a relationship, and many people urge her to marry. Some tell her, "Don't be too picky, just try serious dating to see what it's like." This made her feel abnormal for not having dated. Jobless and crushed by debt, the harsh reality for young couples in China. In today's China, even young couples are falling into the same nightmare. Both jobless, buried in mortgages, car loans, and the pressure to continue the family line. Some rely on parents or pretend to work to get by. But for many, the weight of debt is crushing. They scramble for any job just to survive, abandoning the idea of a decent life. Shanghai netizen Kai Tai graduated a decade ago. This year, she and her husband both lost their jobs. Depressed and anxious, she revealed that the 2.4 million yuan apartment they bought in Fengxian district has dropped by 1 million yuan, wiping out their savings. She called it the ox and horse trap: mortgage, car loan, and family pressure. Their car loan alone is 7,000 yuan a month, a decision made back when the economy was good. Now, her husband searches desperately for work, while she has sent out tens of thousands of resumes without success, taking care of their children full-time. "The job market is terrible this year," she said. In Shenzhen, netizen Warmcat, 38, also lost her job. Her husband is unemployed too, leaving them with no income and 2 children to feed. But at over 35, they discovered the only work left was delivering food or babysitting, jobs that barely keep them afloat. Another Shenzhen resident, Amber, posted that joblessness is even worse in big cities like Guangzhou. "I lost my job on Monday. On Wednesday, My husband's company announced bankruptcy. We have rent in Shenzhen and a mortgage back home. The pressure is unbearable. The economy is collapsing. I can't imagine the future. Netizens say layoffs hit every sector. E-commerce, real estate, internet companies. Friends earning 50,000 yuan a month are being laid off. Even those making 100,000 yuan are out of work. Big companies are axing whole projects. Mid-level managers are gone. Chongqing's Zhao Chao described the job market as a scam. Over 10 hours a day, 1 day off a month, no insurance, all for 2,000 yuan. The better jobs pay 4,500 yuan, but demand impossible sales targets. Online, people joke that unemployed middle-aged Chinese become triathletes, couriers, food delivery riders, DD drivers, or wear the 3 lucky charms, security guard, cleaner, nanny. But behind the humor lies despair. The domestic market is rotten, one wrote. Over 30, single, and childless? You'll be rejected for your age, experience, or education. Lawyer Wu told the Epoch Times that unemployment now spans nearly all traditional industries, while new sectors create only limited jobs. For people in their 40s and 50s, opportunities are almost zero. He warns the young, avoid big debts and mortgages. Economic downturns in China won't last 1 or 2 years. They could last decades. Professor Jie Tian from the University of South Carolina says double unemployment in one household is rare in normal countries, except in a severe recession. The Chinese economy is likely in a deep recession. No matter how the CCP hides it, unemployment is impossible to disguise. He points to another danger: debt. With salaries of 8,000 to 10,000 yuan, young people dare to borrow hundreds of thousands, even millions, for a house. In normal countries, banks would cap loans at 3 times your annual salary. This wouldn't happen elsewhere. In China, high housing prices, coupled with CCP propaganda, have led ordinary Chinese people to blindly believe that the economy is booming. This has fostered widespread over-optimism and the belief that real estate prices will keep rising, prompting many to take out large loans. High housing prices, high land prices, and high leverage ultimately benefit only the CCP elite, state-owned banks, and real estate tycoons. They've made a fortune, while middle-aged Chinese are now trapped. Those born in the 1980s and 1990s, the backbone of society, are the hardest hit, said Jie Tian. Fake work companies booming. Since the start of this year, companies specializing in providing fake workspaces for unemployed people have appeared in cities across China, including Beijing, Chongqing, Shenzhen, and Harbin. They charge 30 RMB per day and let people stay to study, sleep, or even attend remote interviews. One owner says they are almost fully booked every day. Chen Yingjian, founder of Hangzhou's Yuo Fake Work Company, said that 60% of those who come to pretend work are actually starting businesses. They need the space and atmosphere. They're not the lie-flat type, but simply haven't found their niche yet. Fake work isn't about deceiving yourself. It's about finding a better version of yourself. Netizens commented, "Some people feel unwanted when unemployed. Having this place at least gives them somewhere to hide. Where there's supply, there's demand." You've finally figured out 361 out of 360 professions. Lawyer Wu believes the popularity of fake work companies stems from a clear market reality. Where there's demand, there's supply. Unemployment in China is severe, and incomes are falling. With reduced business volume, unit prices are also dropping. Employment opportunities are rapidly disappearing. Young people fresh out of college can live off their parents, not marry, and not have children. But people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s with families, children, and debt can't afford to live that way. They can only lower their standard of living, for example, by cutting flexible expenses by 30% to 50%, he said. Jie Tian noted that unemployment exists in every society, and some people, unwilling to reveal their situation, will inevitably pretend to work. Japan experienced a similar phenomenon during its economic crisis in the 1970s and 1980s. People would dress in suits every morning, grab their briefcases, and go to work, spending the day in parks or other places while desperately job hunting. before returning home. But it never became a major social phenomenon. However, the rise of such companies in China indicates that the number of unemployed people is already huge. The fact that these companies can even offer such services is tragic, suggesting the number of people pretending to work has reached a significant scale and that unemployment has become a serious problem. In June 2023, the official urban youth unemployment rate reached a record high of 21.3%. However, the public believes the official figure, covering only the urban, non-student population, significantly understates the true level. Zhang Dandan, associate professor of economics at Peking University, emphasized that if those who have given up job hunting and are not actively seeking work were also included, the youth unemployment rate could be as high as 46.5%.